What's up, YouTube? I'm Taylor and I hate mosquitoes. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a mid-70s. I'm not actually entirely sure what year it is. Just based on the tag, it looks like it's probably, so it says 72 on the VIN plate or VIN sticker. That means it was manufactured in 72, so this would be a 73 if I'm not mistaken. Honda CB500F. This one's in. It's been sitting for a while now, at least a couple years. So at very least, it needs a new battery because you got to have spark, and that's the first step. So new battery and definitely fresh fuel in the tank. I'm guessing more than likely a carb clean. We're going to start with spark though and see if we can't get this puppy to run. And then probably an oil change as well. So those are the main things that we're going to take a look at here on this. The first part we're going to do is get this cover off here and pull the battery, and we'll go ahead and get that replaced this evening. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do to disconnect the battery is grab your Phillips head screwdriver. The first thing you want to do is disconnect the ground. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect the ground now. And then we're going to go ahead and disconnect the positive as well. Okay, you'll get new bolts once you get the new battery, so don't worry too much about losing those. Now you just wrestle the old battery out. Okay, just a typical lead acid battery. Just for the sake of showing you the proper way of how to check a battery to see if it's still good, you're going to get your basic multimeter here and turn it to 12 volts. And you're just going to take the positive, stick it on the positive, the negative on the negative, and that's reading 3.64, 3.63. This is supposed to be a 12 volt battery, so yeah, definitely dead and needing replaced. You can also tell it's had some leakage from battery overflow there, so yeah, that battery is definitely shot. Go ahead and take it in to your auto parts store with you, and you can trade in the core for a discount on the new battery. Alrighty, so just got back from the auto parts store. Just took the old core into AutoZone, or Advanced Auto, excuse me. AutoZone here in Kokomo, Indiana, for whatever reason kind of sucks. So went ahead and went to Advanced Auto, and not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form, but huge fan of the store there. At least the guys here in town, they know what they're doing. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill the new battery up with acid and hook it up to the charger and go from there. So this is your battery acid, and you've got the vent tube attached to the vent here. What I'm going to go ahead and do is take your battery acid out. Now you do want to be careful with this because this is sulfuric acid electrolyte, and it is some nasty stuff. And how you're going to do this, I didn't, alrighty. You are going to snip this, attach your fill hose, and then you are going to fill to the upper level. And if you follow the instructions that come with your battery, at least for a conventional battery, you'll be able to do this as well. Basically, fill only to the upper level for each of these cells. And that's gone. And just like so. And you can see the electrolyte solution already starting to fill. Okay, we've got all of the electrolyte filled in up to the upper level. So now it will need to sit for at least an hour. And then once the hour's up, we'll top it off and then go ahead and fill it, or charge it, excuse me. Go ahead and just cap your acid, wipe up any spillage that you've got, and you are good to go. So start the timer for an hour. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. A little bit of surface rust, nothing terrible. So we're just going to drain and hook up a couple hoses to the petcock there, and then let it drain out, and then we'll fill it with fresh gas while we're waiting on the battery to charge. Well, the fun part of working on vintage bikes, especially custom ones at that, you never know what the owner is going to do. Basically, I'm a huge proponent of custom bikes, and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But give it enough time and you forget what you did, which is a case of this. So I was in the process of draining the fuel tank, and on reserve, drained as much as I could with the bike upright. However, there's still stale gas in the tank, and without siphoning it out by mouth, I need to remove the tank. So that leads me to trying to figure out how to pull the seat off, which I think is just this one bolt that slips off. So we'll remove the nut and the washer, which I was expecting to be metric because everything on Hondas are typically metric, but again, custom bike stuff, and voila, seat's off. So with the seat off, that allows us access to Honda's factory method of pulling the gas tank. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And I don't have a correct size hose fitting or hoses for this right now, so I'm just using oversized hose. I've got it over the petcock nipples, and I'm just letting it drain. Okay, and there's a couple drops in there still, but nothing crazy, and when I throw fresh fuel in it, it's not going to be an issue. So, done with that. Okay, with the gas tank knocked out of the way, all the stale fuel emptied, our battery has now sat for a little bit over an hour. As you can see, a couple of the levels have gone up higher than the upper level, which should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and recap the battery. And word to the wise, if you get any of this battery acid on your fingers or hands and then touch your clothes will get holes in them. So batteries on there, or batteries ready to go. Something that I highly recommend that you do if you end up, or well, just in general, I highly recommend that if you are into vintage motorcycles in general, whatever it may be, that you invest in a trickle charger. And I thought I had a pair of alligator clips that hook up to this, but essentially this is a quick disconnect. If you've never seen one, or quick connect, I'll show you how that works. Let me find the and if you're wondering what battery charger I use for my motorcycles, this can be picked up for about 50 bucks. It is the Battery Tender Junior 800 milliamp selectable battery charger and maintainer. And again, you just set it and forget it. So here it's got alligator clips. It's also got ring terminals. I did pick up some for this bike. And this is how it works. So at least with these these alligator clip ones, you'll hook up your still negative first, then your positive, and then you'll find your end and your end, and you will just put them together like so. And let's see. The one that is solid is the one that is charging right now. But again, these are great. Come back in 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever you want. It will be charged and just ready to go. That's how a Tinder works. So doesn't overcharge it, doesn't undercharge it. Highly recommend that you pick up one of these because it is worth it. Makes your life a whole lot simpler. And I have it on 3 of my bikes. Basically anything that's 12 volt, I throw one of these on it. They do make them for 6 volt as well. I need to invest in one of those, but I've been lucky with 6 volt batteries holding out for me for whatever reason. So as I mentioned before, definitely invest in a quick connect. These things are, I think, 14 bucks off the top of my head. I believe that's after tax, but it's got a fuse in line, and it's going to be a pain for me to pop off the cover for it, but keeps it watertight, because what I like to do, and what a lot of people like to do, is you set that up, positive, negative terminals on your battery. So in this case, it would be positive and negative. Hook those up. You leave this part that hooks up to your battery tender hanging off of the bike somewhere, and then you tuck away the rest of the wiring, and then when you pull it in the garage, you're done riding. Maybe you're not going to ride for a month, 2 months, whatever. Pop that on the charger and it'll maintain the battery for you. That way next time you come out to use your bike, it'll be ready to go. So highly worth the investment. So that's it for night 1 of working on the Honda CB500F. Basically all we did tonight, just to recap, was remove the seat, drain the gas tank, replace the battery, got the new battery on the trickle charger, and that's it. So we'll resume once the battery's charged. We'll get that all installed here, and then we'll hook the carbs up to the fuel line. I got to get a T-fitting and some more hose. That way we can split it off to the different carbs there, and then we'll go from there. So hopefully this old girl will fire right up and with some fresh gas and a fresh battery. I'm guessing more than likely we're going to have to pull the carbs and clean those jets. It just depends on if the owner basically ran it out of fuel when he parked it. That's kind of a thing, unless you're really into these things, you don't necessarily know about. But if you're riding a vintage bike of any sort of frequency, when you go to park it, you definitely, especially so when you come home for the evening, or especially because it could be a couple nights or whatever, not so much if you just run into the store real quick, shut the bike off in the parking lot, run in, do your shopping, come back out. But if it's going to be parked for an extended period of time, run the gas out of your carbs. The ethanol in the fuel these days gums it up super badly, and just is a pain, causes the bike not to run right or not run at all. I've seen where the idle jet will get clogged, so it'll run when you're giving it throttle, but then as soon as you let off the throttle, idle jet's clogged, so it's not allowed to idle. So that's just something to be aware of with a vintage bike, or any carbureted bike for that matter. But yeah, that's it for this evening, and I hope you enjoyed. We'll touch base with the next video. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button, the comment button, as well as the subscribe and the bell notification button as well. Means the world to me, helps the channel grow as well, and helps me know what you like to see and what you don't like to see, which is great, because I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. But Thanks for following along. Again, I'm Taylor, and I hate mosquitoes. Bye-bye.